just when you thought solving quadratics was over and done with, aha, there is one more method to look at. So this is quadratic formula. Now this works for every single equation, okay? Factorizing, some of your quadratics you could not factorize, just it was impossible. The completing the square is nice, but it starts to get a bit messy when there's a even number here and odd number here, and when there's a number in front of the x squared. So this quad formula sort of does it all. Okay, just remind you, this is the general or standard form of the equation, and it's just showing you what all of these letters mean in your quad formula. So a is your coefficient, right, the leading coefficient of x squared. B is the coefficient, aka the number in front of x. C is your constant term, just the one that's got the number, no x's with it. Okay, so pretty nice. This formula will be given to you every single time. You don't have to remember it, you just have to know how to use it. So we've got our equation here. Oh, and by the way, little thing that I left off because I couldn't fit it in, but we should always put here that a cannot equal 0. Because of course if it did, this would no longer be a quadratic, it would be linear. Anyway, let's move it along. So if I'm looking at this equation here and we wish to solve it using our quad formula, the first thing we need to do is find out or establish what's our a, our b, our c. And that's not a massive mystery or anything difficult. We said a was the number in front of x squared, so you can see pretty clearly that our a here is 2. Okay, b is the number in front of x, so our b is minus 5. Not just 5, but minus 5. And c, the constant term, is 1. It's now a simple process. We are just going to replace these values into our formula here. Okay, so we end up with x equals, I'm just copying now. I suggest you write this formula down so it just becomes routine. Your call. So it becomes minus b. So because our b is already a minus 5, instead of writing minus 5, right, that's a bit silly, we're just going to write 5. What comes next in the formula? That's a funny looking 5. What comes next in the formula? Plus or minus. Guess what? I'm just copying. I put plus or minus. It's got a big old square root. I pop that in as well. It says b squared. I'm going to square my b, so minus 5 squared. Let's use brackets, otherwise your calculator will give you a little bit of a wrong answer. Right? Why did I put a minus? Because the formula told me to. And here it's 4 times a times c, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. 4 times a, my a is 2, and c is 1. Okay, all that goes in there. It's all over 2 times a, and again 2 times a is 2, so it's 4. Your job is pretty much done. You can now reach for your calculator. Okay, mine is a little bit too far away, so I will do this in my head. So minus 5 squared, we get 25. Minus 4 times 2 is 8 times 1 is still 8, so we say take 8. All over 4 equals 5 plus or minus. Okay, 25 take 8 will be 17 all over 4, and we're done. Okay, in the last video we reminded you how you can check your answers using your graphics calculator. So back up here. Okay, once again we're in equation, so you can use your arrow keys to get down there. We press enter, it's degree 2 and a, b, c. We're popping in the values here. So look up at the top of the screen, the blue. We're popping in the values that are for our equation. So our a is 2 minus 5, 1, exactly how we had it over here. Okay, so pop in 2 minus 5 and 1. Press enter or solve. 5 plus root 17 over 4 and 5 take root 17 over 4. Let's just check. Bang, got it right. Okay. We have discussed previously about how we can simplify surds. In this case, 17 is a prime number, so that's it. It's all done and dusted. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, so I've got this one. How about you do this in your books? So write this down. So you can stop the video, pop it down, and as you write this, can you also write down your values for A, B, and C? So stop that video. Okay, hopefully you've done that. And you establish that A was -3, B was -5, and C was 3. So I've written the formula over here again, right? You should have that somewhere nice on your formula page. Put a box around it. And we're copying now. So we go x equals what? Minus b, so minus 5. So once again, that becomes positive 5. Of course, if that was 5, then we'd put as a -5. Plus or minus, I put plus or minus, square root. So b squared, again we can put minus 5 squared, or you could have gone straight to 25. So -4 times a, our a is -3, and c is +3. All over 2 times a, so 2 times -3 is -6. Okay, that again, hardest bit that you've done. And now from here, it's all your calculator. Okay, so we end up with 5 squared is 25. Now a negative times a negative is a positive. So 4 3s are 12 times 3, so we're adding 36. All over -6. This equals 5 plus or minus 30, 40, 50, oh, what's that going to be? 61. All over -6. Okay, you can check with your calculator, can you simplify root 61? Okay, so root 61. Nope, that's it. And of course, I could have just stayed where I was on the calculator and checked with it there. So equation, polynomial, degree 2, it was -3, -5, and 3. Did we get the correct answer? Yes, we did. Once again, if you're using one of the older graphics calculators, you might not get this that are in our room. You might not get this exact value. I'll try and get some of the good ones in for you. So if you could carry on and do these, and you've got more questions in your textbook as practice as well. All right, hopefully that assists you. Good luck.